Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Bitcoin is having another good day. Turn that over. It looks like it's still trying to grind up to our pivot line, which is right here at 61,000. Don't forget that it has a negative bias as long as it's below this line. There's no bad bias in my mind. It's not my business. It's about the chances. I told you guys to pay attention to this level down here when it broke below the pivot line and was moving like this. Where did it go? There it is. Then you jumped. Another great example of how technical research can be used to make things better. Okay, so even with this bounce, negative bias still exists in the end. It will only change if we get above this line and confirm it. At that point, the bulls will be in charge and can take it all the way up to that level. Bitcoinzilla stands out because it is clear and easy to use. There's no limit to who can join, no matter how much they know about crypto or how new they are to it. Guess who is watching us now? Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad. We'd also like to use this chance to thank everyone who put their trust in us. The best part is that it's free and we read all of them. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Sign up for Bitcoin Bubble right now and enjoy the new age. Let's talk about Bitcoin and other things in this movie. Take a look at where the markets are now. Here we can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone down today by 114 points, or about 0.25%. However, take a look at the Nasdaq. It's up 130 points or 0.75% right now. The SP is barely making a gain. What does this tell us? So why does the Dow go down? Because JP Morgan is in the Dow and the Dow is falling today. It's no longer at an all-time low, but it's still a big part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average and is pulling that stock market down. Today it's oil and another slam down. Now if you've been paying attention, let me say it again. The price of oil could drop by as much as 3.75% more. What does it say? It shows that some people think the US and world economies are weakening, and they say that demand for oil will go down, which means the price has to go down too. That means oil is down 3.75% again. Gold is flat to up for the day, and Bitcoin is also up a little, trading back to $58,000 for the day. This is the big deal, right? Is that gold? It's pretty flat today, not much is happening, and it didn't change much yesterday because of the CPI data. Please note that the CPI data is due tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I'll talk about that important piece of news in my game plan. It should cause the dollar, gold, and the 10-year yield to move. Now let's look at this heat map. What do we see? In the morning, Apple stock was down a lot. Today it's flat, Nvidia is up 1%, and Microsoft is up 1.6%. Since Google is up 0.6% and Amazon is up 2.6%, the mega caps are seeing money move out of banking stocks and into tech plays. That's another reason why the Nasdaq is doing so well today. The market doesn't lose money, right? That's very important again. The people who run institutional hedge funds don't take money out of the funds. They can't just sit on their money. Basically, what they do is turn it around. Tomorrow we'll talk about technology instead of money. What's really interesting is why the business is being crushed. Bitcoin dropped by 2.2% because the market felt bad after the US election debate. BTC fell below $57,000 because of price pressure before the CPI. Bitcoin fell to a local low of $56,099 on September 11th, a drop of $1,000 in an hour. This happened because no one spoke out in favor of crypto policies during the US presidential debate. Neither Donald Trump nor Kamala Harris made their crypto positions clear, which disappointed crypto players and made people less willing to take risks. Bitcoin buyers are getting ready for the August CPI report. Analysts say that the inflation print will cause a lot of volatility. The market is now more interested in jobless data than in CPI data. BTC is having a hard time breaking above the 200 period moving averages at $58,840.59 and $200 on the 4-hour chart. This shows that the short-term momentum is poor. There is still a lot of volatility in the market, and the next move for Bitcoin will depend a lot on the CPI and key moving averages. Gold hasn't done much in 3 weeks. We need to wait for the CPI numbers. Is that the news that breaks support and moves the price up, or will it go through the roof and try to break out to the upside? There are a lot of little things we need to keep an eye on, but the CPI report tomorrow is the most important. The Federal Reserve will make a decision next Wednesday afternoon, and I will be live from the studio to cover all of it. I will cover the speech, the movement, the deals, and everything else. So make sure you tune in next Wednesday at, I think, 1. I think I go live at 1.55 that day. There wasn't much change in silver today either. As before, silver is negative to positive. Again, not much to say here, but the CPI tomorrow should change this. Guys, we did talk about oil getting crushed after that. Oil again. Sharp drop to the bottom. When I look back, I covered my short here and made about 10%. Could have gotten a little more out of it, but it was a test of risk and return. That's just how real investment works. But in general, a support level just below $64 is coming up. Allow it to strike that spot and receive a bounce. Based on this 63 to 64 major technical support, I might even think about going long for a short swing trade. Now let's talk about natural gas. Gas is what we listen to. Gaseous natural gas is rising above its small line of resistance. Don't forget though that it doesn't matter if it's above as long as it confirms you have that chance to go up. If it doesn't show up, it might be a fake out. The government loves to do this. They love jumping the gun and trying to get ahead of the investors, which means they catch them off guard. That's when they said, no, look at this. This is a big drop today, guys. Take a look at that. This is a big red light for every day. Yes, the amount of cash needed for the financials did go up. There was a chance that it would go up even more, but it didn't. This is bad for the financials profits. Also, this chart shows that JP Morgan was trading at all-time highs, which is very high for a financial business. Because of this, any bad news will lead to a big sell-off. Where did it go? We bought and sold all the way down. It's interesting that there was a gap fill right here. It pretty much kissed a gap fill and then got a technical bounce if we draw that out. How much worse could it get? Let's take a look. If we look closely and link our low pivots, we can see that this low here is linked to this low here. Right now, just below 200 is a kind of support zone for the lows. That should go down in the next few days, maybe all the way down to this level. There may also be more cash moving around. It has to bounce when we get in there, which is what I think will happen. And then the next leg takes you down. Okay, today Ali Financial was another big loser in money terms. This one is a lot bigger than JP Morgan Chase in terms of percentages. Check it out. Though it's getting better toward the end of the day, it's still down 17.4%, which is a lot. You can see that big drop again. The way things were going today made me think of March, when bank prices were falling all over the world. Even though I don't think that's where we are now, this is the first time since then that we've seen these huge drops in the stock market. Just keep it in mind. We want to keep an eye on these things again. I call these bits and pieces breadcrumbs because they might mean that something isn't as clean as it seems. If the next